So let's begin with our feet coming together at the front of the mat in Tadasana and the hands together at the heart. Just take a moment with the eyes closed to center your attention in this vertical alignment from the ankles to the knees, to the hips, to the shoulders, all stacking the bones from the ground up to the crown of the head towards the sky. And then begin a slow, smooth Ujjayi breath, where you attend to the length of breath as about 5-6 seconds or so on the inhale. And the exhale about the same. Just feel the shoulders dropping down the back, the tailbone directed just down between the heels, and the four corners of the feet spreading down and suctioning into the floor. And then as you attend to the length and depth of breath, let's also include a coordination of the inner winds, the vayus. Just blending the upper body, pranic vayu, with the lower body, apana wind, by actually guiding your inhale down towards the pelvic floor, with your attention just sliding from the chest down to the perineum. And then on the exhale, letting your attention rise from the gentle lift of the perineum until you're back up at the heart. And let's just take 5 breaths where we're inwardly drawn on the direction of breath, down on the in-breath. A subtle lifting in that you springboard off of to exhale back up. And allowing these, what we would call a warming yang heart energy to blend more readily with this lower yin kidney cooling energy, even as we go through Surya Namaskar. Let's take one more in-breath. And on the exhale, we'll bring the arms to the sides, spreading the fingers and turning the palms out. Inhaling, reaching the arms to the sides and up. And look straight ahead or turn the gaze up. On the exhale, sweeping down, the pelvis drawing back. As you release the chest, relax the base of the neck. Fingers lining up with the toes, even if the knees need to bend. And then inhaling, lifting the chest away from the legs, coming halfway up. And on the exhale, we'll step the right foot back in a low lunge, bringing the knee down and resting the toes. Inhaling, sweeping the arms, palms shoulder width, the right buttocks real strong. 3 breaths here. Draw the weight down into the feet, particularly the inner left foot, and then hug the inner thighs towards each other as you bring the tailbone slightly forward. One more in-breath, drawing the front ribs slightly back, and on the exhale, sweeping wide as you come down. We'll line the fingers with the toes, and inhale, bringing that left foot back, coming into plank position, either with straight legs or on the knees, and take a breath in. On the exhale, we'll do 3 times chaturanga. So exhaling about halfway down with your shoulders just elbow height, the tailbone in. And then inhale, press into the hands. The navel moves in as you come back up to straight arms. Exhaling, drawing the shoulders back as you lower down. You can gaze just a little forward. And then inhaling slowly back up. One more time, exhaling as you lower. If the legs are straight, draw the calves toward the heels. And then inhale straight up. This time all the way to the floor on the out-breath. Kind of landing the pubic bone, the ribs, and the chest at the same time. Bending the knees, we'll bring the sides of the feet together. And inhale, lift the chest and the tops of the thighs. Elbows just straight back. On the exhale, hug the inner thighs slightly towards each other. Inhaling, lift the thighs and chest like a boat, balancing on the abdomen, and then exhale, straightening the legs to hip width. Inhale, we'll take the legs apart as wide as they're willing to go, spreading the toes, and then exhaling, drawing the legs back together, keeping the chest up. Inhale, going wide again. And exhale, bringing the legs towards each other. One more, inhale. Turning the thighs slightly inward, even as the legs are wide. And then exhale, bringing them together and down. Drawing the pubic bone toward the floor as you inhale into cobra. Bhujangasana. Exhaling here, you can be in a high cobra, or a medium one where the ribs are down, or a low one where just the sternum starts to lift from the floor, but the legs are strong in each. One more in-breath. And then exhale, coming down with the forehead, keeping the shoulders back. We'll tuck the toes and inhale either back to the knees or straight up to plank. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Staying here a few breaths. Drawing the base of the neck both wide and long. And elongating straight back through the side body with the front ribs slightly towards the center. On the next breath in, drawing the right foot between the hands in a low lunge. Exhaling, bringing your back knee down. Inhaling, sweeping the arms to the sides and up. 3 breaths here. Being aware of grounding through the feet, not just the front foot, but all the toes on the back foot as well. One more breath in, just drawing the outer underarms slightly towards the chest as you lift from the side body. And then exhale, sweeping the arms back to the sides and down, relaxing the head. Tucking the back toes, we'll inhale, stepping the back foot to meet the front. Spreading all the toes out, lifting the chest, and then exhale as you fold, staying for 3 breaths. The weight just slightly forward of the heels, drawing the sacrum towards the lumbar. You can bend the knees if the tailbone is tucking. And then if the legs are straight, we'll all bend the knees to come up to Utkatasana. So inhale the arms to the sides and up. Pause for 3 breaths here, weighting the heels. Without tucking the tailbone, you want to point your sit bones towards the back of your mat. One more in-breath, face soft. As you exhale, just weighting the sit bones last time, and then inhale, straightening the legs. Exhaling the hands to the heart to namaste. And take about 3 breaths there. Feeling the floor underneath the feet. And the kind of equality of weight distribution from right to left. As if we had scales underneath you and you could feel where you were more weight-bearing and just include the side you tend to live in a little less, with your attention streaming through that region. And then going again on the exhale, we'll bring the hands to the sides. It's energy through the fingers. Inhale, reaching out and up. This tailbone still towards the earth. As you exhale and dive forward, energetically guiding the attention towards the chest. And then inhale, as you lift the chest, we'll root the energy toward the mula. So we'll attend to the breath direction as we go through these now. Exhale, the left foot back in a lunge with the knee down. So the same each time. Inhale, this time the hands to namaste. If your balance is off at all, just bring your right foot a little to the right so we can exhale into a twist. The left elbow just to the outside of the right knee, and the right elbow can point straight up. Take a few breaths here, just turning the fingers towards you so the right shoulder draws away from the ear. Deepening the lunge. As you bring the right side of the body to the right, feel like you're splitting the center of the body in both directions. So the left collarbone and left ribs actually kind of spread away from the right ones. Last inhale, and then exhale, bringing the hands to the floor. Inhale, stepping back to plank. On the knees or straight legs, 3 times chaturanga. A slow motion, there's no collapsing into it. If it's too intense, then better on the knees. Attempting to keep the shoulders fixed in the upper back as you bend and flex the elbows. Keep the chest slightly lifted, and as you come back up, the belly draws in to help you raise. This time to the floor. Exhaling all the way as you bend the knees. You can touch the sides of the feet like Dhanurasana, but without grabbing the ankles. We'll inhale, lift the chest and thighs. And just pausing. You don't really go anywhere here. And exhale there. Just with the knees bent. One more in-breath. Just widening through the sides of the chest and collarbones. And then exhaling, straightening the legs, keeping them raised. Inhale, take the legs as wide as they're willing to go. Energy through the toes. And then on the exhale, we'll squeeze the legs back together, keeping the thighs slightly rolling towards each other. And then inhale again. As the legs go out, hug the upper inner arms slightly back and in. Exhale, squeezing the legs together and lowering them down. Draw the tailbone towards the pubic bone for cobra on the inhale, lifting the chest either in a low, a medium, or a high cobra, but the pubic bone stays down. A couple breaths here. Just drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Drawing the chin slightly down, last in-breath. And on the exhale, slowly lowering down. As you tuck the toes. Draw the inhale towards plank or the knees first, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Just for about 3 breaths. So you're looking back at the toes, as if you're in Tadasana, spreading the toes with the heels slightly out in line with the middle toes and then grounding through the heel. Inhale, stepping the left foot forward, landing lightly, softly, and then exhale, the back knee down, with the hands coming to the heart on the inhale and a lunging twist on the exhale, taking the right elbow over. 3 breaths here where we can naturally attend to the anatomical details, but translating the experience into the inner guidance of the breath down on the inhale at times and exhaling back up as a way of sourcing the energy that you're spreading throughout your shape from this central channel. Last in-breath, where you're grounding down even as you're lifting through the sternum. And then exhale, bringing the hands back to the floor. Inhale, stepping forward, kind of lining the toes as if you have 1 foot, but 10 toes, and exhaling, folding forward, 3 breaths in Uttanasana. Even bending the knees here. One can do it with a slight flexion in the knees so that you tilt from the hips, spreading through the sit bones easier and drawing the sacrum towards the lumbar. On the in-breath, we'll lift the chest, arms to the sides, bending the knees for Utkatasana. Inhale as you come up. Pausing on the exhale as if there's a slip of paper between your knees, just hugging straight in. You can look straight ahead. Energy out through the fingertips. And down into the heels, weighting both sides evenly. And then inhale, straightening the legs. Exhaling the hands to the heart. Taking a breath there. Just coming back to that central region of the shape, where even though you might feel the heart beating fast now, you slow down the breathing pattern. Just the hips right above the ankles. Sometimes it's just a slight weight shift back. And then exhale the hands down. Inhaling, sweeping the arms to the sides and up. On the exhale, floating down by drawing the groins way in as you come to Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting the chest. Exhaling the right foot back. This time we'll inhale, bringing the hands back, either to the sacrum, the fingers facing up, or you can put the hands down to the ground for a lunge back bend where you hug in the inner thighs and draw slightly up through the root. So with that core support, we can lift the chest and draw the head back. Or simply keep the head in neutral with the chin slightly towards the chest. Drawing the inner elbows back. And this is a perfect pose to encourage this elongated in-breath and a bringing of that upper back bend energy all the way down to the earth energy at the root. So either with the head all the way back or towards the chest, we'll come up on the in-breath, leading with the front of the body and then the head. And on the exhale, bring the hands to the floor. And on the inhale, stepping back to plank or to the knees. 3 times chaturanga. Attending particularly to hugging in the inner thighs as you move, both up and as you lower. And if the legs are straight, as you lower down, just as if the calves are going to visit the heels. the slight feeling of the inner leg line, having magnets along it, suctioning them in. This time go all the way to the floor and stay. Inhale, Dhanurasana, with still the hands beside you. Inhale, lifting the chest and the legs. Exhaling here, staying with the knees bent, just another breath. And then on the exhale, we'll straighten the legs, separating them on the in-breath as wide as they're willing to go, softening the jaw. Exhale, squeezing the legs back in. One more inhale, suctioning the hands as if they're drawing back and the chest is moving towards the front of the mat. Exhale, bringing the legs back together and lowering them down. Even as you lower the legs, keeping the kneecaps lifted, inhale into cobra. Lifting the chest. As you exhale, reconnect with that energy drawing up into the heart center. One more breath there. And then exhale to the floor. To plank or to the knees on the inhale, downward facing dog as you exhale. Right at the upper arms, around where your deltoids are, where it meets your triceps, feel like they wrap slightly away from the elbows and then suction up and in towards the base of the neck while it stays wide. So the hugging in happens a little lower than right at the trapezius. On the in-breath, we'll step the right foot lightly forward. Exhaling the back knee down. And then inhale the hands back to the sacrum or to the ground for the lunge back bend. 3 breaths there, where the inhale lasts a little longer than the last few times, maybe even 6 or 7 seconds. Leaning the shoulders back, weighting the hips. And then inhale, coming up through the chest, come out of it. Exhale the hands and head to the floor. Inhale, stepping the back foot up. Lining the toes as you lift the chest. And then exhale as you fold to Uttanasana. We'll stay for about 3 breaths. And let's just for now have it with bent knees, Prashanti, yeah. Drawing the inner adductors towards each other and slightly back. Last exhale. On the in-breath, bending the knees. For Utkatasana, raising the arms to the sides and up. 3 breaths here. Parallel arms is fine, and if it's straining for the shoulders to have the arms straight up, if it's pinching, just angle the arms slightly in front of the ears. On the next inhale, let's stand straight up. And then with the hands coming together and down, we'll exhale, inwardly drawing the energy up from the base and meeting the hands as they come down to the heart. Just pause there for a few breaths. Notice the quality of your attention. Just keep coming back to the experience of inhabiting the central region of the body, and then moving out from there and yet coming back continuously. The source, that sense of embodiment from your core. And we'll exhale, the arms down. Fingers spread, inhale, reaching again to the sky. Strong legs. And on the exhale, folding forward, not so much with the chin raised, but the energy going right out through the torso with the head connected. And then inhaling, lifting the chest, spreading across the collarbones, and exhaling the left foot back in a low lunge again. This time bringing the back leg in on the inhale, either bringing the right hand to the thigh as you bring it in, or keeping it to the floor, either way, or even you could use a block if you needed to. The toes can be spread, and not rushing to bring it all the way in, but we're here a few breaths, so there's time. Angling the left front hip forward and just allowing that natural limitation to be met without any aggression, and just pause there and kind of acclimate to the shape. Softening the shoulders, softening your jaw, and just softening the eyes. One more breath. And then when you let it go, not letting it flop down, but really consciously releasing it slowly towards the floor so it doesn't crash and harm the knee at all. And then the hands can come down as we inhale to plank, straight legs or on the knees. And then, as we've done before, 3 slow chaturanga repetitions. Exhaling as you lower and inhale as you raise. And if it's intense for you, then just come a little bit down. Just flex the elbows ever so slightly. You don't need to come halfway down. And on the next one, we'll come all the way to the floor. With the feet next to each other and the knees bent, again, inhale, raise the chest and the thighs. It's really to strengthen right along the core of the lower back, the hips and legs. Exhale with a feeling of the energy drawing towards the inner leg line, as if you're holding a rolled up mat between the thighs. Last in-breath, just feeling the shoulders draw toward the elbows and the elbows back. And on the exhale, straightening the legs. You can separate them while spreading through the toes. Inhale as the widening occurs, and then exhale, hugging them in. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale as you bring them in, and one more time, just lifting the sternum slightly as you lower the chin. So we're not doing it from the shoulders. And then exhale, the legs together, grounding through the tailbone. Bhujangasana, inhale, lifting the chest. Just a low cobra maybe for this one. No need to do a stronger one. And yet feeling it right into the lower back on either side of the waist, right where the kidney energy is housed. Breathing right back into that with the yang qi enhancement of the muscular engagement. And then exhale, lowering. Inhale to plank or to the knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just a couple of breaths. With a feeling of suctioning the hands towards the floor. And the base of the neck staying wide, which sometimes when we shake the head really lets us feel if we're creating any struggle of tension there. On the next inhale, let's step like slow motion, the left foot right between the hands. You really feel it lightly placing down. And then exhale the back knee, where the weight is more towards the top rather than the center of the patella. As you bring the foot in, reach for it with your right hand. If you find as you reach for it, it goes away from you, that can happen. You can just keep your hands down and just bend the leg in, lifting through the chest, drawing the shoulders back. if the left elbow's on the thigh, then a soft fist with the left hand. And as you bring the foot in, engage through the right buttocks, but turning the right hip to face the inner left foot. One more in-breath, releasing it slowly as you exhale. Hands can come down. We'll inhale, stepping the back foot to the front, lifting the chest, and then exhale, Uttanasana, folding down. 3 breaths. Maintaining awareness through the abdominal region where we can tend to harden and pushing too far into the forward bend than is natural or organic for our particular limitations. Let's then bend the knees and inhale, sweep the arms out and up in Utkatasana again. Weighting the sit bones on the exhale while inwardly drawing your attention up. So we're learning to guide that apana energy towards the heart and the pranic energy towards the root. On the next breath in, we'll straighten all the way up, extending through the knees, strong through the quadriceps, and then exhale the hands straight down in front of the heart. A soft gaze, pausing there. Just aware of where your attention dwells when it's not guided. And one more round here in this sequence. So exhale the hands to the sides. And like spreading wings, we'll take the arms back and around and up on the in-breath. No rush. Really feeling the air you're moving through. And then exhale, gliding down. Tilting from the hips and then letting the upper spine drop. Inhale, arching up. Exhale, stepping the right foot back. In this lunge, we can either take an extended version and walk the left foot further forward towards the front of your mat. So it's a wide lunge, or if it feels appropriate for you, Hanumanasana, just extending the leg out and coming into splits. You can stay upright. It's just a few breaths here, engaging through the front quadricep and still with a sense of hugging the inner groins towards each other. If you're in a wide lunge, pressing into that inner left foot as you weight the hips towards it. So your weight actually comes forward. Coming out of it on the in-breath, you can bend the knee and bring the foot back. Or if you're in the lunge, simply slide the foot back and come into plank on the exhale. Stay in plank as you inhale and feel if the hands are right under the shoulders, not forward of them. And then 3 times with the push-up position. Exhaling as you lower, pressing into the center of the hand, and inhaling as you rise up. It can be helpful, even in this active, strong pose, to guide your attention through the center of the body, inhaling down and exhaling it towards the heart as you lift and straighten the arms. This one, go all the way to the floor and then inhale, lift the chest and the legs, bending the knees. In this version, let's reach back and take a hold of the outer ankles in Dhanurasana that's clasped. If we can bring the feet towards each other, it'll help remind us to stay connected to the inner edge of the legs, the adductors hugging in. And then drawing the weight back towards the pubic bone by taking the feet away from the buttocks, grounding through the tailbone, and then so slightly lowering the chin. Last in-breath. And as you exhale, first releasing the ribs and then the chest down, and then softly releasing the feet, not snapping them back. We'll put the hands back under the chest and lift the legs and the heart and head. Inhale, Shalabhasana, locust pose. This time just keep the legs close together and exhale. Inhale once more. And exhale, lowering the legs and tops of the feet. Bhujangasana on the in-breath, just the pubic bone towards the floor. Pause and exhale. As if someone has their hands around your shoulders, you let them draw back and you draw the chest away from that movement of the upper arms back. One more inhale. And then exhale, coming down. Inhale, up to plank. Downward facing dog on the exhale. There's 3 breaths here. We can tend to push more into the arms and shoulder joints than we need to, creating a kind of inner stress in this pose. Feel like you're lifting up from the wrists, like there's almost a slight cave-like energy under the heel of the hand as you press the center of the hand down. And then on the next in-breath, we'll step the right foot between the hands for extended lunge or Hanumanasana. So you can walk the foot forward and feel what would be appropriate as far as the amount of sensations tolerable. If you want to work with a straight leg above the floor, turning that left hip towards the right leg and engaging that right quadricep. Or if you send it all the way out and the hip ends up going way back, then tuck the back toes under as you come forward in it. On the in-breath, bringing the leg back. You can just bring it to the lunge position if it was forward, tucking the back toes as you exhale, and then inhale, stepping the back foot to meet the front, lining the toes, lifting the chest. So as you're inhaling, there's that rooting attention inwardly. And then exhale as you fold, and instead of collapsing the chest, you fold, drawing your attention towards the heart, and the length is maintained. One more breath here. The weight just slightly forward of the heels, drawing the inner thighs back. And then we'll bend the knees. Last time in Utkatasana. So weighting the sit bones, inhale, reach the arms to the sides and up. As you exhale, you're feeling into the squat, but inwardly there's this buoyant lift towards the heart. One more breath. Hands are engaged, face is soft, and then inhale, straighten all the way up. Just joining the hands as you bring them straight down to the heart center. Inwardly lifting the energy from the mula towards the anahata. And with the eyes just soft and relaxed, downward gazed. Just notice your state of mind here. Recognizing when the mind isn't preoccupied. And feeling just gently through the breath body without going anywhere. Just let your eyes softly close. Namaste.